She thought she'd gotten away from it. But the house kept a different kind of time. 14 years of silence, measured in stopped watches. Some inheritances don't arrive until you stop running. What do you carry that you've never been able to set down? The house looks smaller than it should. Myron stands on the sidewalk, her car still running behind her. The engine hums low and patient. She has been here for 11 minutes. She knows because she has checked her phone 3 times. The house sits quiet across the street. Peeling white paint. Yellowed curtains half drawn. A single window on the second floor reflects the afternoon sky back at her, like it does not want to be seen. She has not crossed the threshold yet. 14 years is a long time to stay away from something you grew up inside. Long enough that the house should feel like a stranger, but it does not. It feels like someone who knows too much about you and has been waiting to say it out loud. The door is unlocked. It always was. Maren closes her fist around the watch in her palm. The brass is cold and smooth, almost accusatory. Her mother's watch. It stopped at 3:47. She does not remember when. Or maybe she does and has chosen to forget. The way you forget the exact moment something breaks. Only that it is broken now and was not before. The wind pushes through the loose siding. A soft rhythm. Almost like breathing. She crosses the street slowly. Her shoes sound too loud against the pavement. The neighborhood is the same as it was. Theron's house next door. The oak tree that split the sidewalk years ago and no one ever fixed. The mailbox at the end of the driveway with her mother's name still painted on the side in faded blue letters. Leora Cartwright. The letters are ghosts now. Barely there. Maren stops at the front steps. 3 of them. Wood warped from rain and time. The porch sags slightly to the left. She used to sit here with her mother in the summers. Lemonade in plastic cups. Her mother's voice, soft and careful. Always careful, like she was holding something fragile in her mouth and could not risk letting it fall. Maren lifts her foot to the first step. It creaks under her weight. She stops. The watch presses into her palm. She opens her hand and looks at it. The face is scratched. The second hand frozen between the 9 and the 10. 3:47. Afternoon or morning. She does not know which. Her mother never said. Just kept it in the drawer beside her bed for years. Maren found it there after the funeral, wrapped in a handkerchief, still cold. She closes her fist again. The house waits. It has been waiting for 14 years. Longer, maybe. Waiting for her to come back. Waiting for her to open the door and walk through the rooms and remember what she has spent so long trying to forget. The house does not care if she is ready. Houses do not care about that. They just hold what happened inside them and wait for someone to come back and claim it. Maren takes another step. The second one. Then the third. She stands on the porch now. The wood groans softly beneath her. The front door is painted green. Or it was. Now it is mostly gray. The paint has cracked and peeled away in long strips like skin. The doorknob is brass, tarnished. Her hand reaches for it before she decides to. It turns easily. The door swings open. Not all the way. Just enough to let the air from inside drift out. It smells like dust and something faintly floral. Lavender, maybe. Or the memory of it. The kind of smell that does not live in the present, but in the space between what was and what is left behind. She does not step inside yet. Her breath catches. Just once. Barely noticeable. But she feels it. The hesitation. The small rebellion of her body against what her mind has already decided. She has come all this way. Driven 6 hours. Packed a bag. Told herself she was ready. But standing here now, the door open, the house breathing its old air into the afternoon light, she understands something she did not want to. She is not visiting. She is confronting. The watch ticks in her memory. not in her hand. It has not ticked in years, but she hears it anyway, the soft mechanical rhythm of time refusing to move forward. 3:47, afternoon. She remembers now, the day her mother stopped winding it. The day Leora sat at the kitchen table and stared at the watch for 20 minutes without moving, then placed it in the drawer, then closed the drawer, then never opened it again. Maren had been 12. She steps inside. The floor is hardwood, scuffed and dull. The entryway is narrow. The walls close in slightly. Or maybe they always did and she just forgot. Light filters through the yellowed curtains in the living room to her left. It falls in pale strips across the furniture. A couch, a coffee table, a lamp with no bulb. Everything looks staged, like a museum of a life that ended, but no one bothered to take down. The door closes behind her. Not hard, just enough to make a sound. A soft click, final. She stands at the center of the entryway. The house is quiet. Not silent. Quiet. There's a difference. Silence is empty. Quiet is full of things that are not making noise yet. The watch grows warm in her hand. She does not look at it. She looks at the stairs. 12 of them leading to the second floor. She used to count them every night before bed. 1 through 12. A rhythm. A ritual. Something small to hold on to when everything else felt uncertain. She still remembers the number. The house waits. The watch waits. The air waits. And Maren, standing in the doorway of the life she walked away from 14 years ago, finally begins to remember why. The living room is smaller than she remembers. Maren stands just inside the doorway. Her hand still rests on the frame. The watch sits heavy in her pocket now. She can feel its weight against her thigh. A small cold circle pressing through the fabric, reminding her it is still there, still stopped, still waiting. The furniture has not moved. The couch faces the window. Faded green fabric worn thin at the arms. The coffee table in front of it holds a thin layer of dust. No magazines, no remotes, just dust and the ghost of where things used to sit. The lamp in the corner has no bulb. She remembers her mother taking it out years ago, said the light hurt her eyes, never put it back. Sunlight cuts through the dust in the air, pale gold, slow moving, like the room is breathing it in and refusing to let it go. Maren takes 3 steps forward. Her shoes sound too loud against the hardwood. The floor swallows the noise, but does not erase it. It just holds it. The way the house has always held things. Quietly, without comment. She turns toward the kitchen. The doorway is narrow. The light from the window over the sink spills into the hall. She steps through. The kitchen smells like old wood and something faintly floral, faintly sour, like flowers left too long in water. She does not see flowers, just the smell of them, or the memory of them. She cannot tell which. The table is still there, 4 chairs around it. Wood, mismatched. Her mother bought them one at a time from thrift stores, said it gave them character. Maren used to think it just made them look unfinished, like the set was waiting for someone to come along and make it whole. One of the chairs is turned away from the table. She stops. The chair faces the wall, not dramatically, just slightly, like someone stood up and forgot to push it back in, or did not want to. Maren stares at it. She does not remember it being like that. She does not remember her mother ever leaving a chair out of place. Leora was careful about things like that. Everything had its position. Everything had its reason. Maren walks closer. The wood is scratched, worn. The back of the chair leans slightly to the left. She reaches out. Her fingers brush the top rail. Smooth, cold. She closes her hand around it, pulls it back toward the table. The legs scrape softly against the floor. Then she stops. She remembers. Her father used to sit in this chair, kale, silent. always turned slightly away, not enough to seem rude, just enough to seem somewhere else. He would sit at breakfast and stare at the wall, at dinner and stare at his plate. Her mother would talk softly, fill the silence. Maren would watch him and wonder where he went when he sat like that. She lets go of the chair, leaves it turned. On the counter near the sink, a single glass sits upside down, drying or dried. She does not know how long it has been there. The counter is clean otherwise. No dishes, no crumbs, just the glass. Placed carefully, deliberately, like someone meant to come back for it and never did. Maren walks to the window. Outside, the backyard is overgrown. The grass is tall, uneven, but the edges near the fence are neat, trimmed. Someone has been keeping it from swallowing itself. She knows who. Theron, the neighbor. He has always been there. Quiet, watchful, never intrusive, just present. She sees him now, standing in his yard, rake in hand. He's not raking, just standing, looking at the house, at her. Their eyes meet through the glass. He does not wave, does not smile, just nods once. Slow, certain, then turns back to his work. Maren steps away from the window. The house is quiet again, not silent, quiet. She can hear the walls settling, the floor creaking under her weight, the soft hum of the refrigerator in the corner. It should not still be running. But it is. Theron must have kept the power on. She wonders if he has been inside, if he has walked through these rooms, seen the things her mother left behind. She turns back to the table. 4 chairs, one turned away. She remembers something else now, the day her father left. She was 12. He did not say goodbye, did not leave a note, just walked out the front door one morning and did not come back. Her mother told everyone he died. A heart attack, sudden, tragic. Maren knew it was not true, but she never said anything. She let her mother grieve a man who was still alive somewhere. Let her keep the watch. Let her wind it every morning for 3 years, until she did not. Maren walks back into the living room. The mantel above the fireplace is empty, except it is not. She sees it now. The watch. Her mother's watch. Sitting in the center, facing outward, the hands frozen at 3:47. Maren stops. She feels the watch in her pocket, the weight of it, the cold brass. She reaches in, pulls it out, looks at it. The same watch. She looks back at the mantel. The watch is still there. Her breath catches. Just once. She walks closer, picks up the watch from the mantel, holds it in her left hand, the watch from her pocket in her right. 2 watches. Same make, same scratches, same stop time. 3:47. She never left the watch there. Her mother must have bought another, or kept another. Maren does not know why, does not know when, just knows that the house is holding something she did not expect, something she did not remember, or something she was never told. She sets the mantel watch back down, slowly, carefully. The house waits. The dust floats in the sunlight. The chair stays turned. The glass stays upside down on the counter. And Maren, standing in the living room, with her mother's watch warm in her hand, realizes the house has not forgotten anything. It has just been waiting for her to ask the right questions. Maren climbs the stairs. 12 steps. She counts them without meaning to. 1 through 12. The same rhythm she used as a child. A small ritual to hold on to when everything else felt uncertain. The banister is smooth under her palm, worn. The wood has darkened where hands have gripped it. For years. Her mother's hands. Her own. Her father's. Once. She reaches the top. The hallway is narrow. 3 doors. Bathroom on the left. Her old bedroom straight ahead. Her mother's room on the right. The door is open. Not all the way, just enough to let light spill into the hall, pale, soft, like the room is exhaling. Maren stands in the doorway. The bed is made, white sheets, a quilt folded at the foot. Her mother always made the bed, every morning, even when she was sick, even when she could barely stand. Maren used to think it was stubbornness. Now she wonders if it was something else, a way to keep the day from falling apart before it started. The room smells like lavender, faint, almost gone, but still there. Her mother's perfume, the kind that came in a small glass bottle with a gold cap. Maren bought it for her once, a birthday gift. Leora wore it every day after that. Even when the bottle was empty, she would dab her wrists with nothing. Just the memory of the scent, just the motion. Maren steps inside. The closet door is open. She does not remember leaving it that way. Does not remember her mother leaving it that way. Leora was careful about doors, always closed, always latched. She said open doors made the house feel unfinished. Maren walks closer. Inside the closet, boxes, cardboard, stacked. 3 of them. The top one is open, the flaps folded back. Inside letters, white envelopes, dozens of them, maybe more, all the same size, all addressed in the same handwriting, her mother's handwriting. Maren kneels. Her knees press into the carpet. The fibers are worn thin. She reaches into the box, pulls out the first envelope. The paper is soft with age. The ink slightly faded. The address is written in careful script. Neat. Deliberate. Her name. Maren Cartwright. Her old address. The apartment she lived in when she first left. 14 years ago. The envelope has no postmark. No stamp. It was never sent. She opens it. The letter inside is folded once. She unfolds it slowly. The paper crinkles softly in her hands. Her mother's voice rises from the page, quiet, steady. Dear Maren, it has been 3 months. I do not know if you are reading this. I do not know if I will ever send it. But I need to write it anyway. I need to say the things I could not say when you were here. Maren's throat tightens. She reads the rest. Her mother talks about the weather, the garden, the neighbor who brought soup. Small things, ordinary things. But underneath, something else. A longing. A quiet ache that never quite says what it means. Maren folds the letter, puts it back, pulls out another. This one is dated at 6 months later. The handwriting is less careful. The lines tilt slightly. The words run together in places. Her mother talks about the watch. How she stopped winding it. How she could not bear to hear it tick anymore. How time felt like a punishment. Maren pulls out another letter. Then another. She cannot stop. 7 years of letters. All addressed to her. None of them sent. Her mother wrote to her daughter every month, sometimes twice a month, told her about the house. The silence. The way the rooms felt too big without her. The way Cale's absence still sat, at the table like a 4th chair, no one could move. Maren reads until her hands shake. The letters change as the year pass. The handwriting shifts. Careful, then frantic, then soft again. Her mother's voice grows quieter, more resigned. She stops asking Maren to come home, stops asking her to write back. Just writes because she needs to, because the silence was too heavy to carry alone. In the last letter, dated 2 years before Leora died, her mother writes, I think I understand now. You did not leave because you stopped loving us. You left because you could not carry what we could not say. I am sorry I made you carry it anyway. I am sorry I let you go without telling you it was not your fault. Maren folds the letter. Her hands are trembling. Her breath is shallow. The room feels smaller. The lavender smells stronger. Like her mother is standing behind her, waiting for her to turn around. She reaches into the box again. At the bottom, beneath the letters, A photograph. She pulls it out. The edges are worn, the colors faded. But she recognizes it immediately. Herself, 9 years old, standing in the backyard, her father beside her. Cale, his hand on her shoulder. He is smiling. She does not remember him smiling. She stares at the photograph. Her father's face, his eyes. They look tired, but kind. She does not remember them being kind. She remembers them being distant, somewhere else, always somewhere else. She turns the photograph over. On the back, in her mother's handwriting, the last good day. Maren closes her eyes. She understands now. Her mother was not waiting for reconciliation. She was waiting for permission. Permission to let go. Permission to stop holding on to the shape of a family that had already dissolved. Permission to grieve what was lost, instead of pretending it could be found again. And Maren never gave it to her. She stayed away. Let the silence grow. Let her mother write letters that would never be answered. Let the house hold all the things they could not say to each other. Maren opens her eyes. She places the photograph back in the box, closes the flaps, stands slowly. Her legs feel unsteady. Her chest feels tight. The room is still. The lavender still hangs in the air. The bed is still made. She turns toward the door and realizes she is not searching anymore. She is being pulled. The house is not revealing its secrets. It is confessing them. Maren sits on the edge of her mother's bed. The photograph is still in her hand. Her father smiling. She stares at it, tries to remember the day it was taken. The last good day. She cannot. The memory is gone. Or it was never hers to begin with. Just her mother's. Preserved in a photograph and a line of careful handwriting. She sets the photograph on the nightstand. Her hand brushes something beneath the bed. Something solid. She leans down, reaches under. Her fingers find a wooden box, small, flat. She pulls it out. Dust clings to the lid. She wipes it away with her palm. The box is unlocked. She opens it slowly. Inside, folded papers, old receipts, a birthday card she made when she was 8, crayon drawing of a house, stick figures standing in front, 3 of them. Mother, father, daughter, all smiling. Beneath the card, another piece of paper. Folded once, then twice. The crease is worn soft. The edge is yellowed. She recognizes it immediately. Her breath catches. Uneven. Sharp. The note. She unfolds it carefully. The paper crinkles under her fingers. The handwriting is her father's. Slanted. Pressed hard into the page. Like he was angry. Or desperate. Or both. Leora, I cannot be the father she needs me to be. I have tried. I keep trying. But every time I look at her, I see everything I am not. Everything I will never be. She deserves better than a man who wakes up every morning wishing he were somewhere else. I am leaving. Do not look for me. Tell her I died if you have to. Tell her anything but the truth. She is 12. She will forget me eventually. It is better that way. I am sorry. I know that does not matter. But I am. Cale Maren folds the note again. Her hands are shaking. She places it back in the box, closes the lid. Her throat feels tight. Her chest feels hollow. She found this note 14 years ago. She was 12, home from school. Her mother was at work. She came upstairs to put her backpack in her room, saw the box on her mother's bed, open, the note sitting on top. She read it, once, then folded it, put it back, closed the box, slid it under the bed. She never told her mother. 3 days later, Leora told everyone Cale died. Heart attack. Sudden. Tragic. Maren watched her mother grieve, watched her cry in the kitchen, watched her sit at the table staring at the empty chair, watched her win the watch every morning, the watch Cale left behind. and Maren said nothing. She let her mother believe the lie, let her grieve a man who was not dead, just gone, just tired of being a father. Maren told herself it was easier that way, that her mother needed the story more than the truth, that some lies were kinder than honesty. But she was 12, and she was angry, and she wanted her father to stay gone, so she let him. Maren stands, walks to the dresser. The watch sits on top, her mother's watch, the one that stopped at 3:47. She picks it up, holds it in her palm. The brass is cold, the face scratched, the hands frozen. She remembers now. 3:47 in the afternoon, 3 years after Cale left. Her mother sat at the kitchen table, the watch in her hand, winding it the way she did every morning. But then she stopped, set it down, stared at it, for 20 minutes, maybe longer, then picked it up, carried it upstairs, placed it in the drawer beside her bed, never wound it again. Maren was 15. She watched from the doorway, did not ask why, did not say anything, just went back to her room, closed the door, let her mother sit alone with the silence. She understands now. Her mother knew. Leora knew Cale did not die, knew he left, knew Maren found the note. Maybe she saw her that day, saw her standing in the doorway with the box open. Maybe she knew all along and just let Maren keep the secret because it was easier than forcing her to speak it. The watch was not for sale. It was for Maren. A way to measure how long her daughter would carry the lie. 3 years, 1,095 days. Then Leora stopped waiting, stopped winding, stopped pretending time could bring him back. Maren closes her fist around the watch. She inherited her mother's silence. She became it. She left home at 18, told herself it was for college, for a new life, but it was not. It was because she could not sit at that table anymore, could not look at her mother and pretend she did not know the truth, could not carry the weight of the lie and the man who left it behind. So she ran. And her mother stayed, wrote letters Maren would never read, kept the house, kept the watch, kept the turned chair, waited for her daughter to come home and tell her it was okay to let go. Maren never did. She stayed away for 14 years. Let the silence grow into distance. Let the distance grow into absence. Let her mother die without ever saying the thing that needed to be said. I know. I have always known. And I am sorry. Maren places the watch back on the dresser. Her breath is shallow. Her hands are still shaking. The room is quiet. The lavender hangs faint in the air. The bed is still made. The photograph still sits on the nightstand. Her father still smiling. She hears a sound from downstairs. A soft scrape, like wood against wood. The kitchen. The chair. She stands still, listens. The house is quiet again. No footsteps, no voices, just the faint hum of the refrigerator. The soft creak of the walls settling. She walks to the door, looks down the hallway. Nothing moves, nothing changes. But the sound was real. She knows it was. The house is not haunted, she knows that too. But it is not empty either. It is full of things that were never said. Full of grief that was performed instead of felt. Full of silence that became inheritance. Maren walks back to the bed, sits down, picks up the photograph again. Her father's face, her own, 9 years old, before the note, before the lie, before the silence became the only language they knew how to speak. She does not remember him smiling, but here he is, smiling, and she wonders if maybe he tried, if maybe he wanted to be the father she needed, if maybe he just did not know how, and when he realized he could not, he left instead of failing in front of her every day. It does not make it right, but it makes it human, and that somehow is worse. Maren walks downstairs slowly, each step deliberate, her hand on the banister, the wood smooth and worn. She does not count them this time, does not need the rhythm, just needs to move. To leave the bedroom behind, to put distance between herself and the note, the photograph, the watch, the truth. She reaches the bottom. The kitchen is to her left. She walks through the doorway. The table is still there. 4 chairs, one still turned away. She stands in front of it, stares at it. The wood is scratched, worn. Her father's chair, the one he sat in every morning, silent, turned slightly away. She reaches out, places both hands on the back of the chair, pulls it forward. The legs scrape against the floor, loud in the quiet house. She pushes it in, lines it up with the others, sits down in the chair beside it. The table is cool under her palms, the grain rough beneath her fingertips. She traces the lines in the wood, back and forth. A small motion, something to hold on to. She does not know why turning the chair back feels like an apology, but it does. A knock at the door, soft, tentative. Maren lifts her head, stands, walks to the front door, opens it. Theron stands on the porch. Older than she remembers, gray at the temples, lines around his eyes. He holds 2 mugs, steam rising from both. He does not smile, just nods once. "Thought you might want some tea," he says. His voice is low, steady, without judgment. Maren steps aside. He walks in, sets 1 mug on the kitchen table, keeps the other, sits down in the chair across from her. She sits back down, picks up the mug, holds it between her hands. The warmth seeps into her palms. She lifts it to her lips, takes a sip. The tea is bitter, too hot. She swallows anyway. Theron does not speak right away, just sits, drinks his tea, lets the silence settle. Maren is grateful for it, for the lack of questions, the lack of expectation. After a while, he sets his mug down. "Your mother used to sit right there," he says, "every Sunday morning. Same spot, same time, just sitting, staring at the door." Maren looks at him. He looks back. His eyes are kind, tired, but kind. "She was waiting," he says, "not for your father, for you." Maren's throat tightens. She looks down at her tea. The steam curls upward, dissipates into the air. "I mowed the lawn," Theron says. "Kept the power on. Made sure the house did not fall apart. She asked me to. Said you would come back eventually. Said you just needed time." Maren closes her eyes. Her breath shakes. Just once. "She knew," Maren says. Her voice is quiet, barely there. Theron nods. She knew a lot of things. Did not always say them, but she knew. Maren opens her eyes, looks at him. "Did she ever ask you why I left?" Theron shakes his head. "No. She just said you had your reasons. Said she hoped one day you would come back and tell her what they were. But if you did not, that was okay too." Maren sets the mug down. Her hands are shaking. She presses them flat against the table, tries to steady them. "I found the note," she says, "when I was 12. I never told her. I let her believe he was dead. I let her grieve a lie." Theron does not look surprised, does not look shocked, just nods slowly. "She knew that too," he says. "Saw you that day. Saw you standing in the doorway with the box. She told me once. Said she let you keep the secret because you needed it more than she needed the truth." Maren's breath catches. Her chest feels tight. Her eyes sting. "Why?" she whispers. Theron leans back in his chair, looks at the turned chair, the one Maren just pushed back into place. "Because you were 12, he says. "And your father left, and your mother loved you enough to let you be angry, to let you carry the weight you thought you could carry. She figured when you were ready you would tell her. And if you were never ready, that was okay too." Maren covers her face with her hands. Her shoulders shake, not loudly, just enough. just enough to know she still can. Theron does not move, does not try to comfort her, just lets her sit in it, lets her feel it. The grief, the guilt, the weight of 14 years of silence. After a while, Maren lowers her hands, wipes her eyes, looks at Theron. "I do not know how to fix this," she says. Theron picks up his mug, takes another sip, sets it down. "Maybe forgiveness is not about being ready," he says. "Maybe it is just about stopping the weight." Maren stares at him. The words settle into the quiet, into the space between them, into the house that has been waiting for 14 years. If you have ever carried silence so long, it became a second skin. "Stay." Theron stands, picks up his empty mug, walks to the sink, rinses it, sets it on the counter beside the upside-down glass, turns back to her. "Are you going to stay?" he asks. Maren looks at the table, the 4 chairs, all facing inward now. She looks at the watch sitting on the counter, the one from the mantel. Still stopped, still frozen, still waiting. She does not answer. Theron nods, like he expected that, like it is enough. "I will be next door if you need anything," he says. He walks to the front door, opens it, steps outside, closes it softly behind him. Maren sits alone at the table. The house is quiet, not silent. Quiet. The refrigerator hums. The walls settle. The afternoon light shifts through the window, falls across the table, across her hands, across the empty mugs. She stands, walks to the counter, picks up the watch, holds it in her palm. The brass is warm now, not cold. The hand still frozen at 3:47. She looks at it for a long time. Then she sets it back down, gently, carefully. She walks back to the table, sits down, places her hands flat on the wood, feels the grain beneath her fingertips, the scratches, the worn places where hands have rested for years. She decides to stay one night, just one. Not because she is ready, but because the house has been waiting long enough. And maybe, so has she. Night falls slowly. The light through the kitchen window fades from gold to gray to dark. Maren sits at the table, watches it happen, does not move to turn on a lamp. Just lets the darkness come, lets it fill the room, the house, the spaces between her breaths. She stands, walks, through the living room, her footsteps soft on the hardwood. She does not turn on lights, just moves through the dark, lets her eyes adjust. The furniture is shapes, shadows, the couch, the coffee table, the mantel. She stops in front of the mantel. The watch sits where she left it, stopped at 3:47. She picks it up, holds it in her palm. The brass is cool now, the weight familiar. She closes her fist around it, carries it with her. She walks upstairs, down the hallway, into her mother's bedroom. The door is still open. The bed is still made. The lavender smell is fainter now, almost gone. She stands in the doorway, looks at the room, the closet, the boxes, the letters. She walks inside, sits on the edge of the bed. The mattress dips under her weight. She places the watch on the nightstand. Beside the photograph, her father smiling, her younger self, the last good day. She looks at the watch, then at the photograph, then at the empty room, and she speaks. "I found the note." Her voice is small, almost a whisper. It sounds strange in the quiet, like it does not belong, like the house has forgotten what voices sound like. She takes a breath, tries again, louder this time. "I found it when I was 12. I read it. I knew he did not die. I knew he left. And I never told you." The words hang in the air, settle into the walls, the floor, the bed. The house does not answer, just listens. "I let you grieve a lie," Maren says. I let you sit at that table every morning, wind that watch, pretend he was dead instead of gone, and I never said anything. Her throat tightens. Her eyes sting. She keeps going. I was angry. I wanted him to stay gone. I wanted him to disappear. So I let him. I let you believe he was dead because it was easier than telling you the truth. And I am so sorry. Her voice breaks, just once. She presses her palms against her knees, steadies herself. I left because I could not sit at that table anymore. Could not look at you and carry the secret. Could not pretend I did not know. So I ran. And I stayed away. For 14 years. I let you write those letters. I let you wait. I let you die without ever telling you I knew. She closes her eyes. The tears come. Quiet. Steady. She does not wipe them away. Just lets them fall. I am so sorry, she whispers. I am so sorry I left you alone. I am sorry I let the silence grow. I am sorry I never came back. I am sorry I did not tell you it was not your fault, that you did not do anything wrong, that he was just broken and tired and could not figure out how to be what we needed. She opens her eyes, looks at the photograph, her father's face, his smile. She picks it up, holds it in both hands. I do not remember this day, she says. I do not remember him smiling. But you did? You kept this. You kept the watch. You kept the letters. You kept everything because you loved us. Even when we left, even when we broke your heart, you loved us anyway. She sets the photograph back down, picks up the watch, holds it in her palm. I do not know how to fix this, she says. I do not know how to make it right. But I am here. I came back. And I am telling you now. I know. I have always known. And I am sorry I made you carry it alone. The house is quiet, but it feels different now. Lighter, like something has loosened, like the air has shifted. Maren feels it. In her chest, in her breath. The weight is still there. But it is not crushing anymore. It is just heavy. And heavy is something she can carry. She stands, walks to the mantel in her mother's room, places the watch there, gently, carefully, lets it go. She does not wind it, does not try to fix it, just leaves it. Stopped, frozen. A relic of time that does not need to move forward anymore. She walks back to the bed, lies down, on top of the covers, her head on her mother's pillow. The lavender is almost gone, but she can still smell it. Faint, soft, like a memory. She closes her eyes. The house settles around her. The walls, the floor, the ceiling. It breathes, slow, steady, like it has been holding its breath for 14 years and finally exhales. Maren exhales too. She does not dream. For the first time in years, she does not dream. She just sleeps. Deep, quiet, still. The house was never haunted. It was just waiting to be spoken to, and now it has been. Morning comes slowly. Maren wakes to light. Not the sharp kind, the soft kind, the kind that seeps through curtains and pools on the floor. Warm, clean. She lies still for a moment, eyes open, staring at the ceiling. The house is quiet, not silent, quiet. She sits up. The bed is still made around her. She slept on top of the covers, her mother's pillow beneath her head. The lavender smell is gone, completely. She does not mind. It feels right somehow, like her mother has finally stopped waiting. She stands, walks to the window, pulls the curtain aside. Outside, the yard is green, overgrown, but alive. The sun is low, early morning. The light slants across the grass. She can see Theron's house next door, smoke rising from the chimney. He is awake too. She lets the curtain fall, turns back to the room. The watch sits on the mantel, where she left it. Stopped at 3:47. She looks at it, does not pick it up, just looks. The brass catches the light, glints softly. She nods once, then walks out of the room, down the hallway. down the stairs. 12 steps. She does not count them. Does not need to anymore. The kitchen is bright. Sunlight through the window over the sink. The table is exactly as she left it. 4 chairs, all facing inward. The 4th one no longer looks wrong. It just looks like part of the set, like it belongs there. She walks to the counter, fills a glass with water from the tap, drinks it slowly. The water is cold, clean. She sets the glass down beside the upside-down one, leaves them both there, a pair now. She sits at the table. Her hands rest on the wood, the grain rough beneath her palms. She traces the lines again, back and forth. A small motion, something to hold on to. The house creaks softly, not settling, just breathing, in and out, like it always has, like it always will. A knock at the door. Maren stands, walks to the front door, opens it. Theron stands on the porch. He holds a thermos. 2 mugs. He smiles, just slightly. She steps aside. He walks in, sets the mugs on the kitchen table, pours coffee from the thermos, hands her one, keeps the other. They sit across from each other, same seats as yesterday. The coffee is hot, bitter. She sips it slowly, lets the warmth spread through her chest. Theron does not speak right away, just drinks his coffee, looks out the window. After a while, he sets his mug down, looks at her. Your mother used to say something, he says. Every time I would ask her about the house, about keeping it, about all the things she held on to. Maren looks at him, waits. She would say, the house remembers better than I do. Maren feels something tighten in her chest. Not painful, just present. I did not understand it then, Theron says. But I think I do now. She was not keeping the house for herself. She was keeping it for you. So when you came back, everything would still be here. All the memories. All the things that were too hard to say, the house would remember, even if she could not. Maren looks down at her coffee. The steam rises, curls into the air, disappears. The house did not forget who lived here, Theron says. It remembered who was supposed to come home. Maren closes her eyes, just for a moment. When she opens them, Theron is standing. He picks up his mug, walks to the sink, rinses it, sets it beside the 2 glasses, turns back to her. Are you going to stay? He asks. Maren looks at the table, the 4 chairs, the window, the light, the house breathing around her. Not forever, she says, but not just one night either. Theron nods. That is enough. He walks to the door, opens it, pauses, looks back at her. She loved you, he says, in case you needed to hear it. Maren nods, her throat too tight to speak. Theron steps outside, closes the door softly behind him. Maren sits alone at the table. The coffee grows cold in her hands. She does not drink it, just holds it, feels the warmth fade. The house is quiet. The birds outside are singing. She can hear them through the window. Soft, distant, like the world is waking up around her. She stands, walks upstairs, back to her mother's room. The watch is still on the mantel. She picks it up, holds it in her palm. The brass is warm now, from the sunlight, from the room, from the house that has been holding it for 14 years. She does not wind it. She slips it into her pocket, lets it rest there. A weight, but not a burden, just a reminder of time that stopped, of grief that was carried, of silence that was broken. She walks back downstairs, through the living room, to the front door, opens it, steps outside. The air is cool, fresh. She stands on the porch, looks at the street, the neighborhood, the house behind her. She is not healed. She knows that. The grief is still there, the guilt, the weight of 14 years. But it is lighter now, manageable. something she can carry without breaking. She walks back inside, closes the door, locks it. Not to keep anything out, just to say she is staying. For now. For as long as it takes. The house waits, patient, quiet, no longer holding its breath. And Maren, standing in the entryway of the life she walked away from 14 years ago, finally understands. She was never running from the house. She was running from herself. And now she has stopped. Maren stays for 3 days. Not because the house demands it, because she chooses it. She walks through the rooms slowly, touches the walls, opens the drawers, reads the letters again. Not all of them, just a few. The ones where her mother's handwriting is soft, where the words sound like forgiveness. She does not clean, does not pack, does not change anything, just lets the house exist around her, lets it breathe, lets it remember. On the third morning she wakes early. The light is pale through the curtains. She sits up, looks around the room, her mother's room. The bed is still made beneath her. The watch still sits on the mantel. She stands, walks to it, picks it up. The brass is warm, always warm now, like the house has been holding it in its palm, keeping it safe. She slips it into her pocket, feels the weight settle against her thigh. A small circle, a reminder. She walks downstairs, through the kitchen, past the table, the 4 chairs, all facing inward. She does not touch them, just looks, nods once, then walks to the front door. She locks it behind her, not to keep anything out, just to say she will be back, next month, and the month after that. The house is no longer a grave. It is a museum of what was loved imperfectly, a place where memory lives, where silence has learned to speak. She walks to her car, opens the door, sits behind the wheel. The engine starts easily, steady. She pulls away from the curb, drives slowly down the street. Theron is in his yard, raking leaves. He looks up, sees her, nods once. She nods back. No words needed. He knows she will return. She knows he will keep the grass trimmed, keep the power on, keep the house from forgetting. She reaches the end of the street, stops at the sign, looks in the rearview mirror. The house is smaller now, but not gone. White paint peeling, yellowed curtains, the porch sagging slightly to the left. It looks the same as it did 3 days ago, but it feels different. Lighter, like it has set something down, like it has finally exhaled. Maren reaches into her pocket, pulls out the watch, holds it in her palm, the hands still frozen at 3:47. She looks at it, runs her thumb over the scratched face, the cold brass, the stop time. She will not fix it. Some things are not meant to keep time. They are meant to keep memory. They are meant to remind you of what was carried, what was lost, what was found again in the quiet spaces between running and staying. She slips the watch back into her pocket, turns her eyes forward, presses the gas. The car moves, steady, forward. The house grows smaller in the mirror, then smaller still. Then it is just a shape, a memory, a place she will return to. She drives for an hour, then 2. The road stretches out ahead of her. The sky is wide, open, the kind of open that used to scare her, that used to make her feel small. But it does not anymore. She carries the silence differently now, not as shame, as inheritance, as proof that she survived, that her mother survived, that the house survived, that love, even when it cannot speak its name, still finds a way to leave marks, to leave watches, to leave letters, to leave rooms unchanged so the people who left can find their way back. She does not know if she is healed. She does not think healing is the right word. Healing suggests something broken being made whole again. But she was not broken. She was just carrying too much. And now she has set some of it down. Not all of it. Just enough. The grief is still there. The guilt. The weight of 14 years. But it is manageable now. It is hers. And she can carry it without disappearing beneath it. She thinks about her mother. About Leora sitting at the kitchen table every Sunday morning, staring at the door, waiting. Not for Cale. For Maren. She thinks about the letters, the watch, the house that remembered when memory failed. She thinks about her father, about the note, about the last good day, about the photograph of him smiling. She does not forgive him, but she understands him now. And understanding is not the same as absolution. It is just the ability to see someone clearly, to see their fear, their failure, their humanness. She pulls off the highway, stops at a rest area, gets out of the car, stretches, looks at the sky. The clouds are low, soft. The air smells like rain. She reaches into her pocket, feels the watch, warm against her palm. She does not take it out, just lets it rest there. A weight, a reminder, a proof. The house forgot who lived there, but the walls still remembered. And now so does she. She gets back in the car, drives away. The road ahead is long, but she is not running anymore. She is just moving, forward, steady, carrying what needs to be carried, leaving behind what needs to stay. Some stories do not end. They just find softer places to rest. And this one, finally, has.